let's start off with AEW. I like AEW's reviews better. I actually, you know what? This Joe, first of all, Conan, do you know that we have a correspondence report from this show? Do you know why?
No, but I'm putting two and two together now because you just said Joe, and number two, I saw a very weird thing which I was gonna bury him for, but I said nah, because Joe's gonna think I'm being a dick, which he should always think that because I am. But I didn't want to go out of my way just to bury him. He just out of nowhere puts, Philly Swerve's house. And I was gonna bury him, and I let it go. So that's probably why, because he was there. Swerve probably came out, and Joe was probably cheering like Kevin Gill was at Lucha Underground.
100%.
He was super.
Joe, let me ask you this about the crowd.
Yep.
So the Philly crowd has always been traditionally very good for wrestling because that's like, especially this product, because you get that kind of the ECW vibe in the arena. The crowd gets rowdy and stuff. Like Philly's always been a good town, so I would like if they didn't pop the crowd in this town, it would have been an epic fail because Philly's always been live, right?
Right.
But recently, Alicia Atute had made a comment on Twitter that she went to a wrestling convention and she was complaining that the people there smelled bad and that they should use deodorant. Did you get that vibe in the arena for this crowd for AEW?
No, actually, I didn't notice any of that. Usually there can be some stink at some of the conventions.
Did you lose your sense? Did you when you had COVID? Did you lose your sense of smell? Would that be an explanation for why you couldn't?
No, luckily I did not. No, but I didn't have any unpleasant experiences with any funky fans. No.
Right. All right. So let's start off with what you call it, a Dynamite. So let's start off with this. The show started off with the Owen Hart tournament. I just got to admit, I've never been a big fan of tournaments. Okay, because to me, a tournament is like an idea you come up with when you can't really think of a lot of good creative storylines for people and everything. So you just figure, okay, let's have a tournament, right? And that's just me. I mean, you guys might like it and everything, but I've always looked at it that way. And my interest level in tournaments has always been very low. I don't really care. Big deal. It's not like this. They're really fighting. I'd like to see more personal issues, right?
Right.
So it starts off with Dax Harwood versus Cash Wheeler, and here's my thing. I don't care if these guys wrestle each other. There's no offense to them. I know they're going to have a good match. I know they're good workers. I know they're going to go out there and have a good, solid match that makes complete common sense, and it's going to be good, right? But I just don't care that they're fighting, and I don't care that it really wasn't built up. Except now they had their names marked against each other for a tournament match, and it's like and they had Punk out there on a commentary, and the match was decent, and Cash, Dax won, and 15 minutes, and they hugged and stuff, and they raised each other arm. And it's like I'm just sorry. It's like what they wanted to get at, like their fan base probably really was invested in this, and then the Meltzer wanted to see these guys work because the star would be high, but I just didn't care, and it's not a slight of them. I'd rather see these guys doing episodic storytelling each week in an angle with another tag team and just doing like weekly TV. But it's like the thing with them is like they're the belt collectors, and it's like, okay, Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, all right. Okay, so let's have a match between Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, and the Briscoes. It's like, all right, and it's like, okay, and then they had the match. It's like, okay, well, if you wanted to see like Dax Harwood versus Cash Wheeler against the Briscoes, I'm like, let's do 4 weeks of TV and build it up and make us care about it more and everything. And that's one thing I think that they do in this company is like there's really an emphasis on the quality of the match, so they think that like you don't have to put a lot of creative into these things, and that's what I got out of this. It's like it was a wasted opportunity for these guys to build this, because I think that they I guess there was Joe, there was a hype video. Are they the ones that did the hype video on this that I saw?
I didn't see a video.
Okay, there's like a 7-minute hype video, and I think the two of them produced it. I think it's just I don't think it was a thing that they did because I didn't see it on the shows.
Yeah,
the build up but the 7-minute hype video should have been on the show. To build up for the match, and they had to build it up themselves. But what did you think of this, Conan?
I don't have no problem them doing a one-on-one match, because you're always complaining about these matches you don't like that look choreographed, and there was nothing choreographed about this. This was a good physical match. The fans liked them. They were chanting FTR at certain times, I'm okay. I'm like you. I'd rather 100% like you. I prefer episodic TV to tournaments, and the only reason I found this out is because I know them and I've read up on them now. But I probably would have been like you and a lot of other people that, I guess Owen Hart or Bret Hart. I guess Bret Hart was like their hero.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like they've always had a big affinity for Owen Hart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's wrestlers that.
Right.
Yeah, right. So to them, it was a big honor, and the fans know that it was a big honor, and they've never wrestled each other. So for their fans, it was. And here's another thing. You also got to remember, there are fans out there, and they're mostly in AEW, who don't give a about, building up. They just like good matches,
Right.
The other thing that I wanted to say was this the one where CM Punk was on the
Right, so then, he was on the mic. So then after the match, so they had the match in UK. So Punk grabs the mic and heads to the ring and asks the crowd to give it up for Harwood and Wheeler. He was like a hype guy during this match. I didn't really understand why he was doing commentary for this. Well, why was he doing, Joe? Do you know why he was doing commentary?
You know why I think?
No.
I think because I read in Twitter today somewhere that Hangman Page was supposed to be there, but he had COVID and they had to rewrite the show. So maybe he had a scene with Hangman in the middle of the ring, and they just said, "All right, since you're not going to do it, just go out on commentary and say something at the end."
Yeah,
because
he wanted to bet on the show.
Because he said at the end really made no sense. It's like, oh yeah, you guys want me to wrestle, I'm going to be here. You've been there for like 8 months.
Right. So because Punk grabbed the mic, he asked. He said when he returned to pro wrestling, he asked himself if he could still do this. Hell yeah, I can still do this, Punk said as he walked around the ringside area. Punk praised the fans and said he couldn't have made it this far without him. He said Hangman Page will know what he's been in a fight regardless of whether he wins, loses, or draws. Punk said he will continue to fight until the wheels fall off, and Punk entered the ring and played to the crowd while his entrance theme played. So, that was kind of like after 15 minutes going straight to this promo that really didn't do much. It was just like a filler. Was like,
but I will say this: all three guys are over as baby faces.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's a crowd. That's a live. That crowd's going to make.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. Where were you sitting?
I was kind of like I could see right across to the stage and everything. I was straight on,
I don't understand where that is.
It's
were you three rows behind, 20 rows behind from ringside?
Oh no, I was up on the first level, about like 9 rows in or something.
What, you mean the upper deck?
Not the upper deck, the second, the first one rather.
Who got?
Okay, so not ringside, but the first deck. Meaning, not ringside.
Right. I know. I wasn't ringside this time. No, Frankie and Chris Jericho hooked me up. So
okay,
they couldn't have put you up any further.
No, actually, they were good. I just wasn't on the floor this time.